Today at 1, energy prices fall to their lowest level for 2 years. Good afternoon. Energy prices in England, Wales and Scotland have fallen to their lowest level for 2 years today, as the regulator's new price cap comes into force. A household using a typical amount of energy will pay £1,690 a year. That's a saving of more than £200. The cap sets the maximum amount suppliers can charge for each unit of gas and electricity, but not the total bill. So if you use more, you'll pay more. Here's our cost of living correspondent, Kevin Peachy. Turning to the Middle East now, after 2 weeks of heavy bombardment, Israel says it has completed its military operation in and around Gaza's biggest hospital, and all troops have left the area. During the operation at Al-Shifa Hospital here in northern Gaza, the IDF says it killed several militant commanders and insisted it was preventing harm to civilians. Hamas officials say dozens of bodies have been found at the complex. Our Middle East correspondent Yolande Nell reports. Well, Yolande is live in Jerusalem for us now. Yolande, what's the latest? A new hate crime law has come into force in Scotland today, with J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk among its critics. It's now a crime to act in a threatening or abusive manner with the intention of stirring up hatred relating to someone's age, disability, religion, sexual orientation or transgender identity. Well, let's get more detail on this from our Scotland. Ministers are facing a potential revolt from Conservative MPs over plans to criminalise rough sleeping. Some Tory MPs are expected to rebel against plans in the Criminal Justice Bill, which would allow the police to fine or move on nuisance rough sleepers. Well, our political correspondent Georgia Roberts is here. Georgia, what more do we know?
Well, around 10 Conservatives who are deemed a nuisance, but there's lots of concern amongst Conservative MPs.
Thank you. The Turkish president has described his party's worst ever defeat in the country's local elections as a turning point. Germany has legalised cannabis as the government tries to tackle the black market trade in the drug. Germans over the age of 18 can now grow marijuana plants at home and carry the drug for personal use. The new law remains contentious because of health concerns and questions over whether it will help reduce or increase the illicit trade. Drug laws in the UK mean being caught in possession of cannabis carries a minimum fine of £90. From Berlin, Jessica Parker reports. Now, a trip to the doctors is something that can be a bit frightening for some children, or for any of us really. Medical students from Bristol University have been helping primary school pupils by teaching first aid using teddy bears. The children also learnt some potentially life-saving skills, including how to apply a bandage. Our reporter Harriet Robinson has been to one of the classes. Time for a look at the weather now with Darren Bett. Darren, it's the end of the Easter weekend, but also first day of April. Any April showers to come?
Well, we got some today and there will be more to come as well. March was pretty wet for most of us, except actually in Scotland.
And that's the BBC News at 1. The next bulletin on BBC One is at 6 o'clock this evening. And of course, you can keep up with all the latest developments on the BBC News website. But now it's time to join our colleagues for the news where you are. Goodbye.